What was your first year with the Veterans Salute? How did you connect with that event initially? And were there things that stuck out to you as a program that first year, first glance?
The first year was just World War II. The second year was the Korean War. And then the third year that they did it there, they focused on Vietnam War. When they did Vietnam, they had a Huey flown in. They sent a Cobra helicopter for us. That was a big draw. We also had a replica of the USS Missouri.
I've never been so happy in my life as when I saw that helicopter come over the trees. I was dancing.
I will tell you one story. It was very moving. It was when Weston did the Vietnam. We brought a Huey in.
Yeah.
And one of the gentlemen helping us, Russ Stibbe, he finally talked one of his friends into coming. He ended up showing up there, and he sat in the helicopter, and he sat there almost the whole day. You know, they were concerned because he hadn't moved. And so Russ went and talked to him. He goes, "This was my bird." And they were like, "Well, yeah, you flew in one like this." He goes, "No, it was his helicopter."
Really?
It was his helicopter that he flew in Vietnam. That was there that he was sitting in.
Oh my gosh.
All of us just got real
What?
teary and emotional, and it was.
I've never heard that before. But one thing that is different every single year is the veterans or veterans' families that will show up, and sometimes, like, when it goes off script, that's when I think the core of the event can kind of come to shine.
Most of our vets went in and did what they had to do.
Right.
And they haven't always had a safe space to tell those stories. And their family is genuinely interested in it.
Are there folks like that that stick out over the years?
There was one couple who came to the Smithville Veterans Salute. I can't remember what year that was. And they came in holding hands, and they walked around and they looked at all the displays. And that particular year, I happened to be sitting with Ralph, who was one of our vets, and there was a Vietnam display on either side of us. And the couple was talking very quietly, and he was telling his wife stories. And she said to him, "Why didn't you ever tell me these things? I wanted to know these things. I wanted to be able to help you." And he was like, "I just wasn't ready. It wasn't time." And to have that opportunity for that couple, you know, it makes everything I did worth it.
Been with the program now for 12 years. When was the first time you connected with the Korean War Veterans Association?
The first year.
Right.
They've been involved in the program every year that I've been involved, and a lot longer than I've been around. The sense that I got was that the Korean War Veterans Association, they really were the core group.
Right.
And everything else was kind of built off of them.
Their whole organization supported this event. Lou Ramsey was a huge piece of that. They always made the time to show up. They showed up for the committee meetings. They showed up for the events. Not that everybody else didn't, but they were such a huge voice in helping us. I always relied on them, on John Rishley. It's a lot of the other veterans. Are we doing this correctly? Are we saying this correctly?
Right.
And I think that's a great thing about this program, is that the people who it honors are having a voice in what the program actually is, you know, and what it does. And that's unique. I've never worked with another library program, either here or in my previous library career.
I'm very happy that we're not losing the focus, that this is about the vets and not about the library.
Why is it important that we're honoring the Korean War veterans this year?
This year is the 70th anniversary of the beginning of the Korean War. So even if you were 18 years old at that time, you're 88 in your late 80s. Most Korean War veterans, I think, are in their 90s. So clearly it's the time to do it.
When you look at like the breadth of war movies that are out there, how many don't focus on Korea and how much really isn't known about Korea. And unfortunately, the vets came back and very quickly Vietnam started. And there's always a period of time that the vets need to come to terms with what happened and to be ready to talk. And by the time they were ready to talk, a lot of people weren't ready to hear them.
I think it was George Miller, it might have been Bill Rosenbaum. It was just super clear that he was fascinated and kind of tickled that someone wanted to tell his story or hear his story. I think that that's why it's so important to make sure that people have a chance to hear about the experiences of folks right here in our backyard.